This is Robert Harper with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division. Glad to bring you the Merchandiser Minute today for Friday, March the 5th, 2021. It's been exciting talking with each of you this week and looking at all the influences on futures price and local basis and hearing about the wonderful excitement getting ready for a new crop year as y'all are getting into the field as the land dries out. It's also great to look at that weather forecast across most of the state and see another 5 to 6 days of sunshine ahead. We had a lot to talk about this week, a lot to look at. We still have the managed money speculator funds showing large long positions in the corn and soybean space and still showing a long position coming into this week in the wheat space. We'll get a new commitment of traders report this afternoon, effective of this past Tuesday. Keep your eye out for that information. Again, that's very important for you to know where the managed money speculator is and their opinion on price direction. I hope too this week you were able to sit down and take some time and put some price targets down on old crop bushels that have not been priced or moved yet, and to do the same thing for new crop bushels. Taking that time, keeping those marketing plans in front of you will be a big help to you as we go through this year where we're having a lot of volatility. We did see dryness expand this week across most of the ag regions in Argentina, and at the same time we saw a lot more moisture come across most of the ag regions in Brazil, especially northern Brazil and Mato Grosso. So the harvest pace there is still going slow. You've heard me say that for 3 weeks in a row now. The most up-to-date numbers we have is 25% harvested. Last year they were at 40% harvested. And a new number for you this week, the safrinha crop in Brazil, their double crop, they are 39% planted according to their government numbers, 39%, and last year they were 67% planted. So we know this is an important factor as they pull those first crop of beans off that ground and plant a second crop of corn. The later that crop goes in the ground, the lower the yield potential can be for it. And it's a long ways to finishing it. We know that. We don't know what their weather will be like in June, but that tends to be the way the market thinks. The later that crop goes in, the lower the yield potential. So we're going to be watching those rains down there next week. The dollar was up big this week. It's been a long time since we've seen the dollar futures index move up. We saw remarks this week from the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee Chairman Powell. He made some public remarks about inflation, and that got the dollar a little bit excited as well as the stock markets. We also saw a better than expected jobs number this week from the government. And we know that the Senate, as we speak, is debating the next spending bill. So I don't know how all those influences really fit into play, but the speculator bought the dollar this week and we saw that rise. So we need to know that that can have a negative impact on what we sell. We did get a flash sales announcement this week on corn from Japan. It came on Tuesday. It was the first flash sales announcement for corn we've had, I believe, since February the 12th. And it was a reminder that we haven't had one from China since January the 29th. It's not that China's not buying corn from us in other countries, but we haven't seen purchases big enough to make on the flash sales system. So we're going to keep our eye on that next week. We might see some more flash sales. We know that the money flow was still present this week. Lots of volatility. We made highs some days during the night session, and we're glad to see that money still coming into ag commodities. Let's take a look at how they closed this week. May corn down 2 cents for the wheat to close at $5.45. May soybeans up 26 cents a bushel for the week to close at $14.30. In July, wheat down 7 cents for the week to close at $6.43. So a mixed week on the board. This is the first week that we were on the May futures now that we're in the month of March. When we look at what USDA told us this week, inspections, what got loaded and left the country, corn was above, bean was above, wheat was below. Top destinations for shipping on corn and beans were both China. We're now loading all of those bushels that they've been buying since late last summer. And when you look at the actual bushel total, I think y'all will find this interesting. Last week, the ports around the country loaded 64.4 million bushels of corn. The 10-week average is 47 million, and that is a 3-year high that we shipped out 64 million bushels of corn last week. Soybeans, we loaded out 32 million bushels, and we need 9 million bushels. One analyst told me this week that did the math, we need 9 million bushels per week on soybeans leaving the country to meet the USDA target, and we did 32 million last week. So we're loading out a lot. Our port workers and our port facilities and infrastructure is holding up really well. When you come over, though, to USDA on the export sales report, a little bit of a different story. We know the sales pace has slowed down. We had a marketing year low this week for corn sales. It came in at 4.6 million bushels. So again, we sold 4.6 million, but we loaded 64 million to go out. So we also know now that U.S. beans are priced higher on the world market than Brazil. So it's going to be, looking forward, it's going to be about how many more sales we can get on if we're going to keep this bull market, keep these prices up. Milo acres projected to be up in 2021 in the Southwest due to high prices. On Monday, the Dalian Futures Exchange in China, we saw their soybean prices hit record highs. That's amazing. It looks like farmers there are expected to reduce the soybean acreage this year in China to plant more corn. And we did see an amazing recovery in the ethanol production. You remember last week we were down, I think, 29% in production, reflective of the week before because of the cold weather. This week we're up 29% in production. An amazing bounce back. 85.8 million bushels of your corn in the United States was ground for ethanol. It's a solid number, but it's still 23 million below last year. And don't forget, there's still some African swine fever rumors going around that it's loose in China, again, at a smaller level. And we don't know that. You just read the rumor mill about it. But we did see lean hog futures go limit up yesterday on the Chicago board as people were anticipating the rumor mill, buying the rumor. So next week on Tuesday, remember, we've been waiting for this. It's our March crop report and WASDE from the USDA. We're going to get South American production numbers. We're going to get ending stock numbers in the U.S. Could be some big volatility on Tuesday around that report. Remember to fill out your National Ag Statistics March Ag Survey. They're surveying y'all right now on intentional acres. We'll get that on the 31st of March. Get that thing filled out. And remember, by March the 12th, to fill out your Chesapeake Bay Watershed Survey by contacting your local extension office or your local soil and water office. Give Josie and I a call. We'd love to talk to you and help you with any marketing. This is Robert at Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division.